Pay attention as I share my screen with you. Feel free to write any of this down, but remember this lesson is being recorded. So if I go too fast or you need clarification, or even if you need to hear something again, please make sure that you are watching this video so that you can get it again, or just email me and I'll explain it again, okay? So we want to look at this week's schedule. Remember yesterday, because Ms. Neville had an emergency, the live session was canceled. You were supposed to, during that time, work on your Echinoderms research and animal research project, okay? On Tuesday, we're going to be having our Echinoderms live session today. You're going to have your Echinoderms research left to do, that if you've not completed it, and the notes are already posted to Schoology. At the end of our session today, Ms. Neville's going to show you where you can find that. On Wednesday, tomorrow, we're going to be having another live lesson on mollusks and cnidarians, and you're going to have a graded assignment along with notes and a video. And Thursday, you're not going to have any new assignment, but we will have another live lesson on arthropods, the last type of invertebrate we need to learn about. And then Friday, you're going to have your big test. This test is going to be on the 4 characteristics of an organism, taxonomy, vertebrates, and invertebrates. So you want to make sure you're paying close attention to today's live session. Remember, we have a tutoring session on Thursday at 8:30 for this group. If you need some extra help with something, you want to make sure you come to that tutoring session actually telling Ms. Neville what you need help in, what don't you understand, okay? So we can go over it and give you the help that you need. So let's go ahead and get started with our day. We're going to be talking about echinoderms today. In your notes, if you would please write in your notes, if you would please write echinoderms. And we're going to be understanding, identifying, and classifying the echinoderm. We want to make sure we understand as well that our lesson objective for today is to be able to classify an animal as an echinoderm based on its characteristics. We want to remember that a characteristic is something that we use to describe an animal, something we use to describe an animal. So a characteristic of Ms. Neville is my yellow scarf, my ponytail, my animal print earrings, my braces, my glasses, my brown skin. All of those are characteristics that describe me. Remember, if Ms. Neville goes too fast during this lesson, please take some time to watch the recorded lesson that will be available as soon as this live session ends. So in our notes, what is an echinoderm? We need to know that an echinoderm is an aquatic invertebrate. That word aquatic means water. Yes, this is an animal that does not have a backbone, that lives in the water. In your notes later on today, you're going to be drawing this picture of an echinoderm and labeling it as well. The important part or body part of the echinoderm or sea star that you see here is the anus, the stomach, the spines, and the tubed feet. In your notes, the stomach is that pink structure in the center of the sea star. That stomach shoots out of the body and it latches on to the food. Isn't that cool? It shoots out of the body, latches onto the food to digest it or break it down so that it can swallow it and eat it. Right near that stomach is the anus. The anus is the cavity that releases waste. So it's almost like the poop of, it's where the poop of the sea star comes out, okay? You'll notice that the sea star's stomach and anus are very close to one another. Isn't that something? The stomach and anus are very close to one another. You'll see these little pricks or spines all over the skin of the echinoderm, and the spines are used to help with movement. The spines are used to help with movement. It helps them to be able to latch on to different smoother surfaces. And finally, those tubed feet, there. They're like little bitty suction cups that you might see. They're also used for stability or to help that echinoderm stay in one place. Please finish writing this down. Ms. Neville's going on at 45.
Miss Neville.
Yes.
Um, when I drew this picture, um, on the new notes, I wrote the exact same thing.
Good. Very good, Emma. Take about 2 more minutes to finish up your notes. Ms. Neville's going on in a second.
Miss Neville.
Yes.
I looked in our new folder and I thought we were in the still in the introduction to biology, but I thought that we were done with that.
Yep. I'm going to be telling you what new folder we're going to be moving on into at the end of this session.
Okay.
Okay. So as we move on, we're going to see there are some examples of echinoderms that we need to know about. So in your notes, please write down examples of echinoderms. And you don't have to draw these pictures, but you do need to list Some examples of echinoderms. Take some time to do that now, please. You'll notice there's nothing here called a starfish. No, these are sea stars. The reason why we don't call sea stars starfish is because we could become confused. We want to remember that a sea star is an echinoderm or an invertebrate without a backbone. If we call it a fish, we may start thinking it has a backbone like fish do, and it doesn't. So we want to make sure we're calling what we used to know of as a starfish, we want to call it a sea star. We also want to make sure we understand that there are brittle stars, sea urchin, sand dollars, sea cucumbers, and crinoids. There are other examples of echinoderms. Please list those now. It's also important for you to understand that in your research project that you had to do last Thursday, you were supposed to find 3 pictures of these animals and turn them in to me. Using the power of the internet, I wanted you to be able to understand and show me what an echinoderm looks like, especially after watching that amazing video of Jonathan's Big Blue World. So when we're talking about body temperature in invertebrates, remember invertebrates are animals without a backbone. Please write this down in your notes. It's important for us to know that all animals that don't have a backbone are ectothermic. Remember, ectothermic means that their body temperature changes with the outside temperature. If the temperature outside is 50 degrees Fahrenheit, their body temperature will be about 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Ectothermic is what we used to know of as cold-blooded. An ectothermic animal, its body temperature changes with the outside temperature. Please make sure you write down this heading and these 2 bullets. You do not have to draw this chart. So we're going to look at today this chart, okay? I wanted to give you some time to write down what you see here. We wanted to make sure we wrote down body temperature and invertebrates. We also wanted to make sure we wrote down that all invertebrates are ectothermic or cold-blooded. We want to remember that a cold-blooded animal, its body temperature changes with the outside temperature. Its body temperature changes with the outside temperature. So let's look at this example here. We see a line graph, and this line graph is showing us change over time. In this case, on the y-axis, our vertical axis, we see the body temperature of an animal being communicated. 10 degrees Celsius, 20, 30, 40. And then on the x-axis, our horizontal axis, we see the temperature outside. What do we see happening with these two animals? Well, we're looking at the body temperature of animal A, and that's going to be a red line. Notice how that body temperature stays the same all day. But if we look at the body temperature of animal B with this green line, its body temperature goes up during the day. Can someone turn on their mic and tell us? Make a guess. It's okay. Which of these animals is ectothermic? Animal A or animal B?
Animal B.
Very good. You may turn your mic off now. It's important for us to understand that an ectotherm an ectothermic animal its body temperature will change throughout the day, okay? So it's important for us to know, because their body temperature, they get their energy from outside. Ectothermic animals, like invertebrates, don't need much chemical energy. And from our study of energy types, when Ms. Neville talks about chemical energy, I'm talking about food. Okay? Ectothermic animal, an ectothermic, got a T there, an ectothermic animal doesn't need to eat much chemical energy because it gets its energy from outside. That's a STAR statement we don't want to forget. We also want to be able to look at a line graph and be able to tell which animal on that line graph is an endotherm and which animal is an exotherm. The red animal with the red line is an endotherm because its body temperature stays constant. But an ectothermic animal, its body temperature changes as the day goes on. Ms. Neville's going on in 1 minute. Remember, this lesson has been recorded. So if Ms. Neville went too fast or you want to go back and look at something, you may use this video as soon as Ms. Neville uploads it. So let's go back. Ms. Neville's going to stop sharing her screen with you. And let's go back. And now I want to show you where you